So this is kind of fun. Nothing but water. So, oh wait, oil just started. So that's good. At least there's some in there. This was draining for, I don't know, a few minutes. And nothing but water was coming out. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to make a video of this thing. I'm taking apart the last couple of lower units, at least of this size that I've taken apart. They've all been pretty well sealed. They haven't been leaking any oil. Didn't have any water coming out. So this is going to be a nice little demonstration of what the insides of the lower look like, even with water in the gear case. In case you're wondering what I'm doing right now, is I am struggling to find a good way for this thing to drain. I should have this thing on a different angle. That way it runs down the fin and right into this instead of all over the place. So I'm going to fix that, get this drained, and then we'll take it apart and see what the inside looks like. Now, I was debating finding out where the leak is, but who cares? Leaks. So, let's get started. I'm going to pull the water pump off, shift cover, and yeah, then move to the rear. I don't know if you can tell, but as I was taking that out of there, a little piece fell out. That was the spring for the inner seal, as you can see. So I'm going to go ahead and vote the drive shaft seal was the problem. We got some rust on the base of the drive shaft, not necessarily on the shims, but I think they're stainless shims anyway, so that's not really that weird. Alright, that's all for the top half. Let's get the bearing carrier out and see what the internals look like. If you haven't watched one of my other videos where I take apart one of these larger gear cases, you probably don't know really what I'm going to be doing here. So you're going to need some special tools for this. First, the Evinrude puller, snap ring pliers, and this part is kind of optional, but in my opinion, not really, is the tap and the tap sockets. Reason you do that: you need the puller to pull out the bearing carrier, and you need these puller bolts. These are included with the puller here. If you strip out the screw, good luck getting it out of there. So I use the tap, make sure the threads are nice and clean, and then I put the screws in. It's a little hard to get a tap handle in there, so that's where the sockets come into play. So I'll be doing that now, and I'll probably just fly through it real quick, but at least you'll know what tools I'm using. Also, I'll put one of the affiliate links in the description. Should you need them, want them, they'll be in there. Alright, we have 4 5/16 screws down inside of there. Those all got to come out. At least I thought they were 5/16. Apparently they're 3/8. Apparently they're 7/16. So if you have water in there for long enough, your first indication of a problem is going to be these inner bearings. Usually they'd be nice and, well, not usually, rarely, sometimes, the unlucky few, that bearing would be completely rusted. This doesn't look like rusted at all. It looks perfectly fine, as does the one. There's two in there, one at the other end. See it? They both look fine, so water probably wasn't sitting in this thing for too long. We'll get the snap rings out, pull the gears out, see how they look. Alright, let me move my camera around, get you a better angle. Not that once my hand gets in the way, you'll be able to see anything anyway, but you'll kind of get an idea what I'm doing. Now, I mentioned this before. If you don't have these pliers and plan on doing this job, you're probably going to be buying these pliers. See how easy that is? Now's a good time to have a rag on the floor. Alright, we got some water, got some oil. Teeth look perfectly fine. So far, well, see, the problem is you would have to change this oil a whole lot after you reseal it to get all this oil water contaminants out of there. But so far, there's nothing really wrong with the gears. So far. We'll keep going. Well, get them at the bad angles, I guess. So, next, we need to pull out the pinion, which you can see right there. To do that, you need a special tool. I don't have that special tool, so I ain't using that special tool. I'm using a 13/16 Husky wrench. I've had this for many, many years. Fits fine. And I'm going to be using a socket on the drive shaft to hold the top, solely because I have one. You don't really need it, but there's a part number should you want to get your own. We pulled off that top drive shaft plate, and what that did was allowed us to be able, if you can see it, move the drive shaft up and down a hair. By pulling it up, you get another, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch, enough to fit a wrench down inside of there. Apparently my 13/16 is the wrong size. Alright, got a 7/8 socket on there now, which I don't believe these usually use 7/8, but what do I know? With the pinion nut off, 9 times out of 10, you can grab the drive shaft and pull it up. This one ain't moving. So, unfortunately, for my wallet, I had to pick up some tools. First, foremost, most important tool is the drive shaft puller. If you want the part number, you can pause it. There it is. Now, with the drive shaft puller, what it does is it'll clamp on the drive shaft. You lower these 2 screws down, and it pulls it up. There's another tool that goes along with it, which is the backing plate. You could probably get away with not buying the black backing plate, but if you're already ordering this tool, you're already, $75 into it. Might as well get the $8 backing plate, or $10 or whatever it is. So I'll show you what that looks like. There's the part number, and that is all it is. Looks like a 1/4 inch piece of steel with a big hole in it. So if you got a drill bit big enough and a piece of 1/4 inch steel laying around, save a few bucks and just make your own real quick. Alright, so got the plate installed. I got the puller, wide enough. Fit right over the drive shaft. Get it down decently close. And our puller tool is pretty well installed. Now just tighten some screws up. In theory, comes right out. Except in my case, there it doesn't. Don't know why, so that's interesting. Alright, I have repositioned So let's try again. Well, something sounds like it gave way there. And it's coming out now. So, good sign. Move down a little lower, give it a try again. Yay! So, don't quite know why it was stuck. Looks like I have some kind of anti-seize, some type of residue on the end of the drive shaft splines, so that's interesting. No rust that I can tell. So, yeah, although there is a little bit of what might be corrosion down here. It doesn't really seem like it, so don't know. But anyway, that's how to use the drive shaft tool. When I've used the smaller one for a 40 horse, this is the larger version. I have a smaller version too. It's popped right up the second you give it a little bit of pressure. So this one was stuck for some reason. Well, with the drive shaft out, I can get the components out, mainly the pinion and the nut, which I don't know where the nut went, but it's in there somewhere. Alright, there's the pinion. No corrosion or any real problems that I can see. Just your usual normal wear. Pinion nut came out. It looks fine as well. Well, with those out of there, pretty much ready to slide the rest of the assembly on out. Which looks like it's going to give me some problems. Not too bad. Let's trick some back and forth jiggling. Oil looks disgusting. Yeah, it's not that bad actually. Well, forward gear looks pretty nice. I don't see any metal shavings or anything going on inside of the oil that's stuck to it. Clutch dog looks pretty good. Forward gear teeth look pretty nice as well. So all in all, I'd say it's not too bad. Lower unit probably would have been fine had I just resealed it and called it a day. But I wanted to, I don't know, show everybody a look at the inside, kind of. You may not get this lucky with all lower units. Sometimes you could have nothing but rust inside of there. Given how much water drained, that's what I was expecting. But surprisingly, it's really not too bad at all. Clean out the inside, put this back together, new oil, new seals, and this thing's good to go. So, I don't know, just a thought. So, y'all have a good one. If you need any of the special tools or parts or anything, check out the associate links. Some of them will be inside of there in the description. So, if you need anything, let me know.